Welcome to our presentation. We are going to analyze two linguistics data. So the first data is from the Hebrew words. Question A. Are they in complementary distribution? In what phonetic environments do they occur? Can you formulate a phonological rule stating their distribution? First, you have to look for meaningful pairs. If yes, then both sounds are phonemes. However, there are no meaningful pairs for b and v, so they are allophones of one phoneme. We will then answer whether they are in complementary distribution and what phonetic environments they occurred in a combined answer, which is number 2 and 3. First, you have to look for alternations in the pronunciation of one morpheme. The morpheme for broke shows different pronunciations for the masculine and the feminine. Shiver, broke, and shivra, broke. But these two forms do not illustrate a b-v change, so they don't immediately let us figure out what causes either b or v to occur. So we have to go on to listing the environments. So list the environments for the different pronunciation. From the table, we find that the part of the environment that predicts the change in pronunciation. In this two line, the environment overlaps. The sound a can come immediately after both b and v. Therefore, we cannot predict which of v and b would occur if just given the information about what sounds come immediately after. In these two lines, the environments do not overlap. Therefore, the environment is sufficient to predict which of b or v will occur. Therefore, for speakers of Hebrew, b and v are stored as one sound. They are allophones. But which sound do you, as a non-native speaker, store in the memory? We figure this out by asking which environment is harder to predict. In this data, v only occurs after vowels. B never occurs after vowels. B only occurs after consonants or at the beginning of the word. The environment after vowels is simpler than after consonants or at the beginning of the word. So the environment for b is harder to predict. Therefore, for Hebrew speakers, b and v are different pronunciation of the memorized phoneme b. We then write down the rule, first in words, then in symbols. B becomes v when there is a vowel immediately before it. Or you can shorten it into these two following sentences. Question B. Does the same rule that describes the distribution of b and v apply to p and f? First of all, you have to know what we want to compare. We want to compare b with p or b with f. We want to compare stops with stops and fricatives with fricatives. So we want to compare b with p. We are considering whether the rules should be extended to include all f's are immediately preceded by vowels. No p is immediately preceded by a vowel. Therefore, the same rule p works here too. Next, we want to know what is the rule covers both b and p. Since they are both labial sounds, the rule must be a labial oral stops becomes a fricatives when a vowel comes immediately before it. Question C. Here is a word with one phone missing. A blank appears in the place of the missing sound. Check the one correct statement. So what determines the choice of b, p versus p, v, f, the sound immediately before? So what sound is immediately before the blank? D. And what kind of sound is D? A consonant. Fricatives cannot appear here, because fricatives only appear when there is a vowel immediately preceding it. So the first statement, but not v, could occur in the empty slot, is the only correct statement. Question D. Which of the following statements is correct about the incomplete word? As we can see, there are no vowel preceding, so fricatives cannot occur in this position. So the second statement, p but not f, could occur in the empty slot, is the only correct statement. Question E. Now consider the following possible words in phonetic transcription. Okay. If these words occurred in Hebrew, would they, first, force you to revise the conclusion about the distribution of labial stops and fricatives you reach on the basis of the first group of words given above? Second, support your original conclusion. Third, neither support nor disapprove your original conclusions. First, we have to look for minimal pairs. The new data introduces a minimal pair, level versus label. This will lead us to conclude that the distinction between b and v is significant, because it goes along with the change in meaning. Then we will conclude that Hebrew speakers memorize both b and v, given two morphemes, b and v. This is a different conclusion than what we came up with, so the right answer is the first one. We would be forced to revise our conclusions.